Okay, this is the final results from our week 5 project. Um, we had scrapped our previous project due to logistics. Basically, we just did not have enough time to really do anything with it that would have been worth turning in. And we started on a tower defense game. Um, the working title for the game is Tower of Autumn, and the idea kind of for the game, or that I had for the game, was a sort of Japanese feel to it. Which plays along really great whenever you get into concepts of things like the Hundred-Year Wars and the things that went on over in China and Japan and that area. You can really do a lot um, with the theme. So um, what we use Unity 3D, but we also use the 3D Tower Defense Kit. What it does is it provides you with some prefabs that allow you to do some things like managing your audio devices, um, and a few other odds and ends. It allows you to set up some of your grids, and most of that was handled very nicely. There were some bugs we ran into, primarily with the GUI, but there was also some bugs we ran into with the projectiles and also with the tower manager. Um, and it was, if you have anyone else that uses this kit, you might want them to be aware that not only do you have to add your towers in here, you also have to add them in um, up here. And then you also, once you get done with all of your setup there, you also have to go back and do some additional setup on each of the towers. Let's see, these were the towers created by William, and you can see there's the model for it. But there was a lot of setup that has to be done in here, just in order to get them to even show up on the screen, but also for your upgrades and the various statistics for your icons. Let's go ahead and get a little play button going here. The music that you hear there is Pyre by some royalty-free music by a gentleman named McLeod. The interface here was all done with NGUI, and it was interesting to work with. See, we've already got our creatures coming out down there. We can take and we can spawn an archer tower on it. Spawn another one right there, and we can take it. Sometimes it seems to get hung up a little bit. I'm not really sure why. It's another bug that I don't have worked out just yet. Um, I never was able to fix the pathing problem with the creatures coming in the ground. There's just simply not enough time to polish this up in a week. Um, but all in all, I think that we've got the basic groundwork in place now so that we could actually turn this into a polished game, provided that we had enough time to work on it. 1 week is not enough to produce a polished game, not by any stretch of the imagination. Just, if nothing else, for the sheer fact that you're going to have loads and loads and loads of bugs and errors and things that are really hard to track down. For example, I ran into one where all of a sudden our GUI just quit showing up, and it took me about 12 hours to track it down to the fact that there was a corrupted atlas in the NGUI elements. You have to create these atlas files for NGUI, and one of them had gotten corrupted. So even though it was saying that all the GUI elements were there, and even though I could see them in the editor, they weren't showing up in the camera view. And it came down to the fact that in GUI, the atlas was corrupt and it wasn't reading the textures. So things like that sometimes take a long time to track down, and they definitely cut into our time that we had in order to try to get a final product going. So I think at the end of the day, even though we've only got one level there that actually works, um, we have the framework in place to really take this a lot farther, provided you have the time for testing and everything else. I think if we had started this project back at week one, we could have had a game with who knows how many levels, because once you get this basic framework in place and you get it debugged and working, um, it's very, very quick and very easy to create new content and new levels. So I think this would have been perhaps a better project for us to have started on week one. As it is, I'm quite happy with it, and quite happy to bring this class to a close. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys later.